A world where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is Curious Listener. Here she is, Chris.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It's the first month of March. Can you even believe it? One more month and we're a quarter of the way through the year. It's craziness, isn't it? Barbara DeLong is back. It's been a long while. It feels like forever. It feels like since last year, but I think that we did have Barbara in January. And so anyway, what else is happening? Just a quick reminder, for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, we're either going to have a short show, ending slightly before, be like 10, 11:30 Eastern, or if somebody's kicking around and they want to go into overtime early, I'm happy to leave it to them. We can stop recording and just let you guys play around in the chat room and whatnot, chat with each other. So that's what's going on. And today too, if we run out of things to talk about or callers, which is almost impossible to run out of things to talk about with Barbara, but if we do, we'll shut her down a little bit early, and Chris can get an early supper and Barbara can get an early bed. Tomorrow, Amy Kavanaugh's here. Selva Dutton is here Friday. Saturday, it's Kimber. Sunday, Hillary Black. Monday, Diana Monroe. And next Tuesday, it's Lisa Nolan Chalosky. That's what's coming up in the next week or so. Barbara, most of y'all know Barbara, but just for the benefit of anybody listening via any of the other platforms that intuitalks.com broadcast to, welcome listeners, whoever you might be. Thank you for listening to us elsewhere. We'd like you to listen to us at intuitalks.com live, of course, and join us in the chat room. But Barbara is a spiritual intuit. She's been the host of her own radio show for a long, long time, and currently, unless anything has changed, broadcasts at freedomslips.com. She's also created her own oracle deck. It's called the Cosmic Deck of Initiation. She's authored a book called Whispers of Spiritual Wisdom, and you can get both of those on Amazon. Just go look for Barbara DeLong on Amazon. And she has like a couple of years experience doing this, like over 40. I'm probably closer to 45 now because time ticks and that number in the bio doesn't change. So chances are it's well, it is still over 40, but it's like over 2 years experience too. You know what I mean? So over 40, maybe. You can go check out Barbara's website that's got just so much information and really interesting stuff. You can get lost there forever. And you can find that at barbaradelong.com. And on YouTube, there's an interesting documentary that's called Secrets of the Stones. And you can find that, on YouTube. You can either search for the user Oracle Tracker, or probably you could search for Secrets of the Stones and find that documentary there on YouTube. So let's just go get Barbara. How are you doing? Happy March, Barbara.
Yes, isn't it amazing? I can't believe that we're almost a quarter of a way through the year. I mean, holy crap.
Crazy. It's not just a thing that Time seems to go fast.
Well, time does sure fly when you're having fun, for sure.
I know. I used to always say, how can the days be so painfully long and slow, and the years fly by so quickly?
Yeah,
you're not having time.
That's a really good point. I do feel, as a lot of people I talk to feel, that the time is speeding up, and that everything seems to be going a lot faster. It could be that I'm getting older, but it truly is amazing how fast time does fly. I got my kittens in December, and they're 5 months old now, and we have to go in for those little snippies very, very soon. And it's like, holy macro, you guys grew so fast, and everything is quickening. But yeah, as far as your intro goes, you could say over half a century, and you'd be accurate.
Wow, over half a century.
Yep.
As long as so the day I got born, Barbara DeLong started doing this stuff.
Just about. Just about.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It gets to the point where it's like, man, that's just so long. You'd think I'd be smarter than I am, but I have to tell you, the doing the radio show and being able to interview such amazing people, it's been a fantastic ride. And one person recommends another, and I'm finding that I'm coming into contact with some of the most amazing people I've ever. I interviewed just this last Monday the man who discovered the pyramids in Bosnia, and it was fascinating. And his name was, I'll mispronounce it, but I'll give it a shot. His name is Dr. Sam Oskmanagic, and he was fascinating, talking about how the pyramids were discovered, and actually they were covered with 3 to 4 feet of dirt, so they looked like pyramid-shaped mountains. But in essence, there are at least 7 actual pyramids there in Bosnia, and not only that, but there are tunnels under them and that radiate throughout that valley there, and they're remarkable. And the air in there is as pure as it comes. It's full of negative ions, which means it's great for healing. And some of the fascinating things that they've uncovered are just amazing. They've got there is a beam that goes from the top of the pyramid out into the universe, and it's an energy field, and it's measurable, and it utilizes Tesla-like energy, and we know about Tesla energy and how it's free and how it just sort of keeps going without having to deplete having even any energy source other than the atmosphere. And that they actually have been able to record this energy field, and that they have been able to convert it into sound so that it talks. And they recorded it, and they sent it back to the pyramid, and the pyramid actually responded with a signal that was different and 40 times stronger than the one that it had before. So that it is a form of communication. Who to, we don't know. But one of the other cool things is that there are ceramic objects in the tunnels, and the tunnels are, thousands and thousands of feet of tunnels going in all directions, and with a unique kind of cement that has been carbon dated and everything. And on one of these ceramic, they look like big boulders. But they're ceramic. There were rune-like figures on it. They weren't actually runes, but they were similar to runes, and some of the signs did correspond to runes, and they interpreted it as the gateway is closed. We are at a standstill. We will have to act as warriors to defend and conquer until we can move again through the Stargate, which to me is fascinating. The pyramid is over 30,000 years old, which makes it not only the largest one, the Pyramid of the Sun, which makes it the largest pyramid in the world. And the really cool thing is, this came at a time when, you know how we have there's a rhythm to the equinoxes, there's a progression of the equinoxes and things like that into the different signs. There's a natural progression of it. And there is also a progression of equinoxes cosmically. And they come in sync once every 27,000 years. And at that time, communication between this and other universes, other dimensions, and other realms is far easier than normal. And we are at that time frame now, and I find it fascinating that the pyramid is being explored and uncovered at that exact same time frame when there is this correspondent progression of the equinoxes, both global and cosmic, so that communication is now easier to open up between the Earth and people on the Earth and other dimensions and other solar systems and other entities. So it's a very exciting time.
Did this guy talk about the same thing having in Mexico? I have some recollection from a few years ago. It was like a picture that I saw of like a colored, like even pink beam coming from a Mexican pyramid as well. At some of the pyramids in Mexico, and it's interesting. It's just the oldest pyramids that seem to be emitting these signals, and the other part that's fascinating is that all of them that are emitting these signals are missing a capstone, and of course, if you go into further looking at in every pyramid out there, all the pyramids, there are no bodies in any of them. They were not used as burials. Interesting. So, a question that I would have asked this guy is, okay, let's assume that there's something really huge to this. Remarkable that there's this beam of energy and that this beam of energy and somewhat communicate and this can better. I would be interested to see so I would call it intelligent energy. You know what I mean? Intelligent energy. And I wonder if we could train it in our, teach it a language so that we can understand what it's saying, if you know. So well, we could say, if you go for 10 seconds, pulse for 10 seconds, that means yes. Or if you do this or that, you know what I'm saying? Try to program it. Program it, that's the word.
I don't know that is possible. It seems to be calibrated for
like me, it's communicating, it's responding.
It was responding, yeah.
Yeah, it would seem to me that it would want, I would call that intelligence. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Now, it could be that there's some other thing like an off-world being who is controlling that with a remote control stick or something. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is impossible. But my whole thing is that you would think that like when I communicate, I want to be understood.
Well, yeah, all of us do.
You know what I mean? So this, yeah.
You've got a good point. I think what's going out now, actually, is more or less, I want to almost say, it's like it's an automatic type thing, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like, it's just sending it out. I don't know that there is any, intelligence to it.
Right. I mean, well, but Barb, the reason why I jumped to you can a hypothesis may be that this energy is intelligent is because it was responding.
It was.
So to me, that's signs of intelligence.
Oh, absolutely. But when you think of the age of the pyramid, it's just been emitting that for centuries, for eons, for I don't know how long. But it's kind of like it's on in sleep mode, I guess is maybe the best way to put it. And but it also must have something to do with and controlling of the fact that the tunnels under the pyramid are full of for anybody who's interested in this is the you can watch this now. This is a 2.5-hour YouTube, but it's all about the pyramid and what they're finding in it, and they're amazing. And I'm not sure. Without the capstone, I'm not sure if it is possible to send a signal that would be interpreted. What's interesting is the signal comes out of the top of the pyramid. It goes up for quite a ways, and then it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and it broadens. And these pyramids seem to draw energy from the sun, which is also fascinating. But so they have an endless supply of energy, which is kind of fascinating. And
so we can make something from that. You know what I'm saying? And I would be interested if there's any, if they're measuring this energy field on a full-time basis now. You know what I mean? If there's any spikes or anything like this that is measurable that coincides with world events. You know what I mean? So, what catastrophes or even human being catastrophes like war, anything like that.
I'm not really sure that they've done that. What I found fascinating is it sounds kind of like a bunch of bees, and you know how they took at one time the chirps of birds and slowed them so far down that you could hear the individual different notes and everything like that. And I'm wondering if they slowed down the buzzing, and it sounds. It sounded very much like, in Star Trek, if you ever watched it, for those who did, that at one point they had people going into two different dimensions, and one dimension everything was so fast paced that it sounded like the buzzing of insects, and that was really the people in the other dimension talking to them, and it was sped up so fast that it didn't sound like sound. I mean, this guy just had so much information. It was really hard to kind of, even though I'd read the book and I'd seen tons of videos, I had, a ton of questions, and 2 hours just flew by. It was just the most amazing, and he was so full of knowledge that it was phenomenal. And he met with a tremendous amount of resistance from traditional archaeological places, and people said he was delusional. And if you look at the pictures on the website and stuff, you'll see that they declared at some point that somebody declared that these pyramids were natural occurrences, and yet if you look at the pictures of the stones and the terraces and the tunnels and the chambers, there's no way that was a natural occurrence. These are man-made, and what's fascinating is these ceramic boulders, for want of a better word, are set in places over which they have discovered they are over running water, so that these boulders in some way control the water in the tunnels so that they're not flooded, because they did move one of these ceramic boulders and immediately the next day all the tunnels that they've been working on were flooded, so that they do prevent the tunnels from being flooded. And they've got, my God, the number of tunnels that they've discovered, and they've only just scratched the surface, is phenomenal. Some of the tunnels were filled in and sealed, and they are unsealing them now so that the passageways are open. But they're incredible edifices, and there are 7 of them, 7 large ones. They've created a park there. They've created a standing stone circle that charges the aura. They worked with people on measuring their auras before they went in to work in the chambers, and then 2 or 3 hours later when they came out, they measured the auras again, and the auras had expanded dramatically. They've had healings that have been quite amazing that have gone on there. And the other thing that is so remarkable about this man and what he's doing is that he's thrown it open to anyone who wants to come and work, so that you don't have to be an archaeological expert or anything like that. They will train you to work in the tunnels, and basically they're removing a lot of the blockages, so that it is manual labor stuff. But they teach people, how to work, and they are very careful about not destroying anything, about honoring whatever it is that they are excavating. And thousands and thousands of people go and spend 10 days to a summer helping them to excavate this, so that it's not something that's being kept away from the press. But apparently, the Egyptian people and a lot of the other major archaeological bigwigs fought like hell, calling him, telling everybody that he was delusional, that these mountains weren't pyramids, and they are. But people were threatened. People lost their jobs. It's an amazing feat. He spent the last 10 years of his life excavating here and uncovering a change in history, which is profound.
Sure. Wonder if those closures were by natural causes, or were they filled in by people, or were those tunnels closed off by people, or by erosion or natural?
No, they were filled. Let me see if I can. They were filled. BOSNIA pyramids. Knowing that you have to.
What era? Which people filled those in, and why? Was there some bad juju energy in there coming through that they were worried about?
Well, they have discovered that it really is 2 or 3 different cultures, 2 or 3 different time frames, cultures, whatever you want to call them, that had used these pyramids, and the tunnels themselves are just. Let me see if I can find a picture and. But you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
To block off because of some valuable. I don't know why I'm breaking up.
It could be that I don't know why they would be breaking up too, to be honest with you, be sealed up because you don't really know where all the tunnels go, and they're huge.
Yeah, what I was trying. Am I still breaking up or?
No, now you're okay.
What I was, speculating on was, that there's two reasons. Was that one of these civilizations or group of people were trying to block off access to some valuable thing or some, you know what I mean? And so, because I can't imagine, it's either that they were like keeping something out, like energy-wise, or keeping protection over something valuable. And
it could easily be either. They are so remarkable.
I think Jen might want to come on. Jen, are you wanting to come on and go ahead and unmute yourself if you do want to, or let me know in chat. Just listening, okay. Because Jen said she was researching the topic.
Okay.
So,
yeah, no, it's let me see. I forgot that, there is let me see if this works. Okay. Being technically challenged constantly here. Yeah, watch out, world.
I think it's pretty darn well, you know what I mean, Barbara? Considering that you didn't grow up with a computer in your hand like the kids do. Right?
I did not. You are absolutely right. Every now and then I surprise myself and it's like, whoa, what have I just done? I'll pay for it next life because I won't be quite so technically whatever.
Next, you Don Genius and you'll be insane.
All right, now let me see. How do I do this? If I have a graphic, how do I show it?
Okay, well, let's walk you through this, Barbara.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you control. Now, is it saved on your computer?
Yes.
Okay. And you know where it's located on your computer, right?
Roughly, yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give control over to you. Now, where you're going to be looking is below the write-up of yourself, that little middle section, or I don't know what view. What view are you using?
What view?
Radio
style.
So go to bird's eye view so that we're talking. So click on that and then choose bird's eye view.
Okay.
Now we're talking apples and apples here, okay? So if you won't notice it right now because you don't have control. But what you're going to be looking for is below the picture of you, directly south, look towards the bottom of the picture. You're going to look for like a little icon that shows a piece of paper with a plus sign in it. You'll click on that, and then what you'll do is you'll click select file. The pop-up box will come and you'll click select file. Then you'll go search through your computer and choose the file you want, and then you'll click upload, and then it'll show for us here. So I'm going to hand over the control to you. So hang on.
Okay, I see. Oh, I got lots of stuff here. Okay, I see the piece of paper. I click on it. It says upload presentation. No, select file.
Yeah, select file.
Okay. Oh, this is fun. I may not give it back.
I know. You don't have to. I will take it back.
Okay, upload. Okay.
Quick. That was quick. So there we go. Now, you can also, if you scroll up and down on your mouse, you can also like zoom and you can. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, this is one of the tunnels.
Oh yeah. Okay. So that means that they're definitely man-made tunnels.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are those wooden pillars?
Yeah, they've put in the wooden pillars. And but what's fascinating is all of I don't know, can you see? Oh, I have the little red dot too. Okay. So see all of this area here, don't laugh. Come on. All of this area here is a kind of composite concrete, and it's a kind of concrete that they've had analyzed, and it is stronger than any concrete we can make. So, it's just, and these, let me see, okay, if I just, hang in there for a second, let me see if I can find, I'm ill-prepared for this. I do apologize. I didn't realize we could actually talk about this. Oh, wait, there it is. All righty, so then let me see, there was another one of these that showed, yeah, and what I find fascinating is all the tunnels are pointed. They're arched. They're not squares. They're pointed. And I'm not assuming that they have pointy heads. I'm just saying that they're pointed, which is unusual because most of the tunnels that I've seen are rounded. And let me see. They had a. They've done just so much excavation here, and they can't uncover it completely because they don't own the mountain. They only own the places that they've been digging in. Let me see. Wait. This is such cool stuff, you guys. It's Here's another save image as 2. And then let me see what else. I had this all together for my presentation, not for my presentation, but from
when you interviewed the guy?
Yeah. And okay, so back to Curious Times, back to plus, select file. Cool. We must do this more often. Okay,
next lesson will teach you how to use the pencil to draw circles on your picture.
Okay, this is another one of the tunnels. And and this is water down here, and they tested the water. The water is absolutely pure. It's clear of bacteria. It's clear of, and you would think that water standing underground like this would have icky stuff in it, but it doesn't. And all of these, this is cement. It doesn't look it, but it's all cemented, and it's amazing. Let me see. There was one other.
Goes off the tunnel, or is it with boulders, or with how?
It's stones and boulders, and upload. Okay, now this shows you some of the terraces that are outside, and this is where the rocks are.
You can roll, and then you can move the image around. Yeah, there.
Okay. See, all of these are cut rocks that were laid in there, and you can. It shows how that's what it looks like. Why nobody spotted the fact that it was actually, and these stones like this, they're huge. They actually lay. You can see that that's a person, and there are terraces all over the outside. It appears to be a step pyramid of some sort. And these are all the areas that they've been able, and then the very top here is where the signal came out of. And I think, I don't know if this is, if you can see the hieroglyphs on this, you can't. Wait,
right.
maybe I can.
The problem is probably that picture is small.
Yeah.
And the bigger, for this purpose here, the bigger the image, then the crisper. The smaller the image, the more pixelated it is.
Okay,
no
wait.
deal. We can.
Okay, this is. Oh, so cool.
This picture that's being shown is at pyramida.ba.
Okay. This is one of the rocks that had the pictographs on them. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
And it was already all colored like that and everything?
No, I think they put colored chalk into it just to sort of make it easier. And oh, this one is good. This one really, I hope this shows. Okay, save. Okay.
Have they decoded what any of that is supposed to be saying?
Yeah, they can. Some of the. Okay, remember I said there were ceramic rocks, and we're talking tonnage here. This is what. Okay, this is one of the. This is ceramic, and you can see it has the etchings, the pictographs, whatever you want to call them. They're rune-like, and some of these figures actually correspond to runes. That I don't know how the tonnage on these ceramic pieces. This is not a rock. This is a piece of ceramic, and what they found was that, like I said, they are placed over where water is flowing and angled so that you know the direction that the water is flowing underneath them. And they did radar into them, and they have a metal disc of some sort inside of them as well.
Really?
Now they've not.
Have a carbon dated it?
They are able to carbon date the cement that is in the tunnels, and that carbon dates to about between 27 and 30,000 years. And
ceramic is man-made?
Ceramic is man-made.
And so is there any idea in history when ceramic was first made?
Well, here's another place where, unfortunately, this is one of the other reasons why there has been a problem. It's said that the Romans invented cement. The cement in these tunnels dates back 30,000 years.
Right.
This is another tunnel. See how it's peaked?
But so this is more nature-made concrete, though, and not man-made concrete?
No, it's man-made. No, it's man-made concrete.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm serious. They had it tested. And they had it tested. He sent it to like 4 or 5 different labs so that it wasn't just he saying it. 4 or 5 different labs said it. And this is another good one. This is one of the chambers. Nope, that's not. Okay, that's not the Bosnian one. But it's amazing how let me see if I can find anything else here that, yeah, and next time I do this, if I actually have,
Picture reference, if you ever are going to do this and you have more than one picture that you want to bring, if you know how to create a slide, like a picture of slideshow, PowerPoint presentation, then you can just upload the one PowerPoint presentation, and then you can just click through them back and forth, and
yeah, that would be cool. Wait a minute, there's one more. Okay, this is what some of the causeways look like. This is what, now we're outside, but you can see those are level things there. There are literally 4 levels of them as well, and this is on the outside of this. This is going up in the pyramid, so that it is a stepped pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not man-made. You can't tell me that's man-made. I mean, not man-made.
Not nature-made, right?
Yeah, it's not a natural occurrence. So it's real. Okay, I'll give you back control. That's all I got.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Cool.
I mean, and what's really interesting is a lot of the rock is they used granite and they used sandstone, but the cement they used is better than the cement we're using today. That's what's fascinating, and you kind of step back and it's the tunnels were filled with just rough dirt, not rough dirt. They were filled with stones and stuff. So they took the stones out, and they have uncovered. In the thing I put up in the chat room, that's a fascinating YouTube video to watch, and it shows all of the tunnels they have already uncovered, but they haven't even scratched the surface. And they feel that a lot of these tunnels underneath will connect to the 7 pyramids that are in this gathering, so that they were all connected at one time by these underground tunnels. And it's fascinating in that they've been able to see where there were 3 different cultures that actually utilized the tunnels, that use them. But for the most part, the main thing that he's discovered is that people have actually been cured of high blood pressure, and some cancer patients they went into withdrawal or whatever it's called, and they're finding that people who have like asthma and conditions like that, allergies, they come out of the tunnels after being in them for a number of hours, being free from any of those ailments. So that working in the tunnels is a very healthy thing to do. And apparently what a lot of people do is they go in and they start, I forget, it's 4 or 5 hours that they actually they volunteer to work there. And when their shift is over, they then go back in the tunnels and they go into some of the chambers and they sit and they meditate. And one of the things that he is so absolutely dedicated to is the fact that while it is certainly an archaeological find and it's important for history on all levels, there's a spiritual aspect to it as well. And he's very aware of the energy and the fact that there is something special happening here. And what I find phenomenal is that people literally, people, secretaries and all sorts of people go and volunteer their time to help clear these passageways. And at the same time, he said everyone smiles. There's love all over the place. It's an amazing experience for anyone that goes there. And anybody can volunteer.
That shows you, though, the power of energy, right? You know what I mean? And we already know, like as an empath, we already know that the energy, can affect the energy of a room or whatever, can affect the mood of other people in the room or this kind of thing. And so that's really interesting that anybody around the area.
I think where did I put all of his stuff? I think his website, you can sign up. I think that's the other thing that is so exciting about doing the shows that I'm doing is that
what happened to her? I get cut off? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Hey, Barbara, we can't hear you all of a sudden. Did you accidentally mute your mic on your end, or what I'm going to do is play a song real quick, and then we'll try and see. All right. I'm just going to quickly do this.
Are you looking for a place to meet like-minded people? Perhaps you're a light worker looking for a safe place to share your thoughts and services. We've got a place for you, intuitalks.com. Join for free, post updates, blogs, create and join groups via website or radio or class package. The possibilities are endless. Join the all spiritual, all under one roof network, www.intuitalks.com.
All right, so there you go. I'm going to do a quick shout out and then we'll get back to it. I see that there's a couple of callers there. If you guys are looking for readings, then just hold tight and we'll get to you, okay? So there's a cell phone from, can the person from California that called in on a cell phone, can you do me a favor right now and press 11? Because there's two of you showing there, and I think that there must have been okay. One. That again, in case the second one is, I don't know if I have two unique people or, I think that it's just the first one. I'm going to unmute this one. Is somebody there?
Hello?
Oh, who's that?
Oh, hi. This is
Who is it?
Hi, it's Bonnie.
Oh, hi, Bonnie. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Not bad. It's just like I'm confused because there's two cell phone callers from CA. So, let me go find who the other one is. Hang on. And so, who's this one?
Hi, Chris. It's Nancy.
Oh, hey, Nancy. Okay, gotcha. So you'll go first, then Bonnie. Assuming I'll go back. Are you calling for a reading?
Yes,
Nancy?
please.
Okay. All right. Okay, you say that like. Of course, you dummy. You should know that. Okay, I'm teasing you. And Bonnie, are you calling for a reading or are you just listening?
Calling for a reading if that's possible.
So hang tough and
okay.
Thank you. And then there's this person. Who's this person? You just heard a beep in your ear. Yeah.
Hello?
Hi, who's that?
Natalie?
Natalie.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go. Now, you were actually on, to be honest, you were actually on before the callers and before the California callers. So Natalie will go first, and then Nancy, and then Bonnie. And so when we get to the readings, that'll be the order that we go in. And thank you guys for your patience. Quick shout out. Hello, Amy Kavanaugh. Barbara DeLong is our guest. We have the three callers. Christy's here. Dan the man. Barbara DeLong. I said already. She shows up twice. That's why. Diane in Canada. Gemini Moon. How you doing, Marie? Mary Margaret, Medium Renee Richards, Nancy Nancy Ray, and Corey in Supernatural Radio. So, all right. So let's go get Barbara back on here. Hi, Barbara. Oops. Anyway.
I said, of course, I don't know where I went, but I said, of course, the most brilliant stuff while I was not on.
Of course you did. But, you know, every time you open your mouth, you have.
Right.
But usually you do. And so, everybody, why do you think that there's people that only come to my show when Barbara DeLong is on?
Can't imagine. Maybe they're on a same routine and loop that I'm on.
No.
I actually, it's really interesting. I have pulled out of everything I do, with the exception of my radio show and you. I don't go to the store. I don't do the fairs. I am really focusing on getting the writing done that I'm supposed to get done, and I'm having. I was telling you, I'm having the most exciting time with. It's interesting. Almost every person that I interview gives me 3 or 4 other cool people to talk to, and I've got a woman who's written 2 books on giants that I'm really excited about. I'm booking into May, so I've got the woman that's doing the giants. I've got another guy who's an expert on pyramids that's going to be on. It's really phenomenal. It's kind of like every time I think, well, I've used up everybody I know, now I'm in trouble, and people keep just giving me more names of people, and it's really very interesting. At this rate, I'll be able to go another 8 or 9 years, but I'm having such a wonderful time.
And you're doing a great job, so we're happy to hear that. You're still going full steam ahead. So now, time management-wise, we can let you go. If you remember what brilliance you were dazzling us with when we last before we had the sound kerfuffle, then you feel free to pick up from there. And time management-wise, we have 3 callers, so
okay, we're fine.
We still got lots. We can still yak for for a while, and so there you go.
If anybody is interested in any of this information, they can contact me. The BosnianPyramids.org, I think, or whatever it was, is where you can find the application to sign up. And he said the airfare, the round-trip airfare, is about $1,000, and to be able to, be put up with all your meals and everything there for a 10-day stint is $600. So for $1,600, you can go to Bosnia. You can be part of one of the most exciting things out there, because most archaeological finds and digs are so protective of everything. You never know, what they found or anything like that. And here you can get the little paintbrush and brush dirt off of things, or lug boulders, or do whatever whatever they ask you to do, and then they have their museum and the camp that they have for people there, and the people in the area are just wonderful and supportive of the whole project, and it's a very exciting thing. And 20 years from now, when it really is a national whatever, you can look back and say, I was a part of that. I mean, you couldn't do it with King Tut. Of course, most of you weren't alive then, but a lot of the I'm not sure I was either, come to think of it. But when major finds have been made, it's the organizations and the corporations that swoop in and take control and and cut it off so that nobody can really see it unless they pay. Of course, you have to pay to get there and to work there. But my God, what an exciting thing to do! And if you happen to have that kind of time and that kind of money, frankly, I'd do it in a heartbeat if I could afford to. But, I have like everyone else does, credit cards that need to be paid off and stuff. But I don't have a regular job anymore. But if I was still working, I would have, the flow of money, and I would certainly do it. It's exciting. But watch the video that I put up, because that's just it's so illuminating. It's unbelievable. And if you're interested, like I said, the interview is on my website on the front page if you want to listen to what I did. But the YouTube one it's fascinating. I got up to get food to eat and went right back to it because it was that good. Okay, I can't hear you now, Chris. Oh, there you are.
Oh, okay. Good Lord, I don't know how much closer to my mouth I can make my mic. Now it's going to get in the way of my coffee.
Well, what's more important?
Runneth empty. My cup runneth empty. Anyway, at this point, and so, that's really interesting. And so, I mean, I also wanted to mention to people that I'm looking at a website that's also addressing the Bosnian pyramid and whatnot at ancient-code.com and then /Bosnian-pyramids. And I'll put that link in the chat. And anybody listening in archives, hello, Heath. If you're listening in archives, we miss you, Heath. There's the link there. And they're referencing the gentleman that Barbara had on her show and interviewed, and so on this page as well. And so,
yeah, it's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And for that link you just sent, on that link that you just put in the chat room, it shows you, if you scroll down, there's a map of the area, and they've been working on this since 2005, actually, but they show you in colors the tunnels they cleared in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And you can see how extensive they are. I mean, it is a labyrinth, and it's the fact these findings point to the fact that the underground labyrinth discovered is one of the most secure underground constructions found on the planet.
Wow!
It was
amazing.
Do you see the chart, Chris?
Chart. I'm scrolling. Yep. Healing chamber. Megalith. Runes. That's just very cool. Like, I love that tie-in with the runes. You know what I mean? That's really interesting.
They're runic-like. They and like I said, some of the characters are runes as well. So you wonder if the language, if that was the original, and that runes evolved from that. So, but I love the fact that they talk about a Stargate.
Yeah, that's interesting too. Really interesting. I'm interested in whatever if they've drawn any connection to Mexico and Bosnian.
Well, this guy's book, the book that I read, is called Pyramids Around the World and the Lost Pyramids of Bosnia, and he literally traveled the planet to all of the different pyramids, and he went from Egypt, and in that thing I put up, he went to Greece, Rome, Sardinia, he went to Cambodia, Indonesia, the Korean pyramids, the Indonesia ones. He obviously went to and the Chinese and the Nubian, and of course the Egyptian. And he talks about all of the different, and of course the South American ones, Teotihuacan and them guys. But and he talks about the construction of them, and it's fascinating because he really goes into great detail on all of it. And it was funny, he was talking about the Egyptian pyramids, and he said when he was there, it was very evident that they had been drilling holes to see what was underneath the Sphinx, and were there any labyrinths under the Giza Plateau. They have since been, there are labyrinths down there that they've gotten with ground penetrating radar. They've not excavated anything, and he asked, why are you not digging? And they said, we haven't been able to get a permit. Is that not funny? So they're not digging. But he had to fight the government in Bosnia. They did shut him down. The Egyptian, the head of antiquities in Egypt, called him a fraud and delusional. When he originally, early on, 2006, 2007, in there someplace, he had at least four people from the Egyptian Archaeological Society go with him to the pyramid. And one of them spent 42 days on the pyramid excavating with them, and he came to the conclusion that they are man-made. And when he got back to Egypt, he lost his job. There were reporters that reported on the fact that these were indeed pyramids that were fired. Lots of people lost their jobs. Lots of people were intimidated. And finally, it's to a degree broken out, but you won't see this on any of the major news channels. Wikipedia doesn't even list the fact that he's a PhD. He definitely has been fighting an uphill battle, and he's, and that he's kept going is really impressive. And yet when you look at the photographs, you have to sit back and say, now, why is traditional archaeology fighting this? And part of it is that they'd have to rewrite history, and they don't want to do that.
And they fight everything. It's either arrogance or laziness or what, I don't know what the hell, or maybe a combination. But to me, it's important to get it right, and I thought that we, especially scientists, there's supposed to be this thirst and excitement for new and more information and solving mysteries and all of that kind of thing, hey?
No. They are protecting the old and ignoring the new because they don't want to have to rewrite the textbooks. And the people that were the most against him was Hawass, who was the head of antiquities in Egypt for a very long time. And since he is no longer in power, they've had, I think, 4 or 5 major conferences there, and they are now being attended by archaeologists from around the world. But you're not seeing anything in the newspapers because they are still trying to deny the fact that this edifice fits the same. It's interesting if you go to where its blueprint, its footprint is the same as the Great Pyramid on the Giza Plateau and the Pyramid of the Sun in South America. And what I find fascinating is that if you look at some of the oldest pyramids, their blueprint is very much alike. The construction that they use in the Great Pyramid, for instance, they use granite blocks. But then, if you come forward in time, they were using mud bricks that they made themselves. And the mud bricks, that would be like the step pyramid and the red pyramid and all of those. They have deteriorated because they didn't have the staying power that the granite did. And so, you're seeing that the real ancient ones are the ones that have survived because they were constructed appropriately. And he never goes into who made them. He just goes into the fact that they were man-made. And he doesn't go into any of the alien stuff or anything like that. He just said these were made by human hands, that this is man-made material. But fascinating as to their purpose. Absolutely, there's no hint. I mean, for us, there are healing qualities, but that may not have been the intent or the design originally. Mm-hmm. Cool stuff.
That is cool stuff. I mean, I'm glad I have that. I have the YouTube link to the but anybody that's listening and you can't see links or whatever, go to YouTube and search the Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids, and then look for and then it carries on Dr. Samir,
Dr. Sam.
And explore pyramids is the YouTube user account that on, and so you ready to get to the calls then, Barbara?
Sure.
Okay. Let's go, and we're gonna go get Natalie first. Hello, Natalie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Okay.
Okay.
You guys gave me a great idea. Back in the day, I used to have a book called Pyramid Power. I don't have it anymore, but I forgot about that for healing.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Yeah, I was, I remember way back, we had little pyramids we wore on our heads. But it works, and it does keep razor blades sharp, and you have to have the right angles and stuff, but, and I forget what the correct percentage is, but yeah, no, we used them to keep, to charge seeds before we planted them, and to keep razor blades sharp.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check into it or see if I can find the book again, because I think that book was from the 70s.
Or 60s, yeah. So did you have a question you wanted me to focus on, or did you want me to give?
Whatever. You could just do general.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the next year. So it feels as though this next year is going to be a time where you're pulling stuff together. It's almost like you're unifying thoughts and projects. You're reprioritizing. You're putting your house in order in many, many different ways. And it does feel as though there's a sense here, an aspect that you almost feel pushed to clear and clean out, to put a greater sense of focus on yourself and what you need to do for you, because you're at a point in time here where you have put a lot of things aside, and it's time that you took them out again. It feels as though it's a time to get your hands busy, to get back into more of the spiritual modalities than you have been currently. Not saying you're not spiritual, just saying that there are more aspects of your spirituality that you want to get back into. It does feel as though as you hit April, you kind of feel as though you're going through an initiation process. You're going through a period of time here where you are uncovering and unlocking doors inside of yourself that have been locked for a very long time. You're giving yourself access to a greater sense of your own internal wisdom, as well as your connections to the other dimensions, and utilizing your intuition and your insight and your inspiration in new and different ways. As you hit May, there's a sense here of working with your telepathy, and it does feel as though you actually are using your telepathy to communicate with plants and with animals and with other people, and it's very subtle. But when you really put your focus to it, you really can influence situations above and beyond what most people are able to do. It's a kind of fun thing to do. You can't control other people, and you can't make people, walk around and cluck like chickens or things like that. But you can plant seeds that they don't even know you're planting, and it's very interesting, and it's definitely a gift that you've had for a long time, but you haven't been using it lately. Sometimes you rely too much on words instead of thoughts, and it feels to me as though you're coming to a point in time here where your thoughts are more important than your words. As you hit June, there's a sense here of working with your own truth, your inner truth, those things that you brought into this lifetime that really constitute your personal religion, but it's a spiritual religion. It's not a traditional one. It's these are the things that I hold most dear, and these are the things that guide me through time. And you're becoming more and more comfortable with what's right for you. And what's right for you is often not right for other people. And sometimes when people ask you advice, you tend to give them what you feel you would do in situations, and it's not always appropriate for them. I would say sharing with people the fact that you believe in them, you know they'll do the right thing at the right time in the right way is probably more appropriate because you have a different pathway than most people. There is a uniqueness about you that is quite profound. As you hit July, it feels as though you're opening yourself up to greater wisdom on many different levels. You're stretching yourself in new directions, and I don't feel that so much that you are learning more. I don't feel that you're actually learning as much as remembering ancient wisdoms, ancient gifts, ancient practices, and it does feel as though there's a greater richness to everything around you because of it. In the August time frame, it feels here as though you're kind of letting go of some of the walls that you've put up and allowing yourself to have a greater freedom of experience of emotions here than you have for a very long time. Laughter becomes a great part of your life as you hit September. It's as though you bring the laughter back into a greater degree than ever before, realizing that you can learn through laughter as well as through being serious. It's more fun through laughter, by the way, and sharing your lessons with other people. It does feel as though there's a sense of writing here, so that a journal of some sort would be very appropriate for you if you are inclined in that direction. In October, there's a sense here of understanding, getting a better take on what is going on inside of other people's hearts and minds. It's a very subtle, unique gift that is you can't make a fortune with it, but you can be more compassionate and understanding because you have a greater understanding of what is going on inside of them, even if they have not shared information with you. So as you get into the November time frame, here's where the focus is on the home. And the home is really important for you, and it does feel as though there is a sense here that you may make a move. It feels you're thinking about it. So it looks as though in the November time frame there's the potential for either initiating the looking for a new home or actually making a move. Also, it is a time in which you are focused upon your own physical the home wherein your spirit dwells. So you may be changing your eating patterns to a degree, but don't force yourself into anything. Let your body lead you and go with that flow. Karmic energy is here in December. It feels as though this is a time where people are sort of popping up from past lifetimes, and it looks like a pretty fun and exciting time for you because you're meeting people that you feel you've known forever, and it feels as though this is a very exciting time for you. They are people from lifetimes past that you're sort of knocking elbows against. It feels as though it's not so much that there is a love relationship here. There is more of a friendship relationship here, and it feels as though it gives you a better sense of security than you've had with a long time, because it's almost like family is coming home to roost, that there is a truer sense of family about you and new people in your life than you've ever had before. As you hit January, the spotlight falls on you. It feels like there is a great deal of people paying attention to what you do and respecting you and being grateful for your energy and your insight, your input and your efforts. And it does feel that you're going to be getting recognition, not necessarily money, but at least recognition for a lot of the effort that you've made in the past. And as you come into February next year, here's where you cross a threshold of understanding of the energy, the power, the talents, and the gifts that you have inside, and how you apply them in new and different ways to make links with places and dimensions that you haven't touched before, that will give you greater insight as to the purpose and direction of this lifetime. Okay?
It sounds dead on, because it's stuff I've been thinking about anyway.
Oh, cool.
And the part of that book that I do remember from that pyramid power was a lot of telepathy. I remember I used to use it on plants. I used to freak my mom out.
It does work.
She used to say I was the devil. But so everything you were saying seems all the things I've been thinking about anyway.
Very cool. Well, if you needed validation, you got it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Natalie.
Okay.
Take it easy. Peace out. Thank you. Okay, now we do have a fourth one, so we're going to go and get Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Chris. And just to let you know, I'm not avoiding you. My husband decided that he wanted to spend more time with me at nighttime, so very rarely can I listen to your show live. But to tell you the truth, I always followed Barbara, and we have the same passion for ancient civilizations and ancient history, so I can't leave Barbara out.
Well, that's good. So once a month is not going to kill you. That's what I mean.
Well, what a coincidence that I was talking about ancient civilizations tonight.
Yes. There you go.
So do you want a general reading, or is there someplace you want me to focus on?
Sure. I love your letter rips.
Okay. This is a time of new beginnings, of fresh starts, of moving into new venues, and it does feel as though there's a sense of excitement inside of you that not that you know where you're going, because you don't, but it feels as though you're open for new venues, and it's almost as though that this imprints and this touches into every month of the year. There's a sense of finding new levels of understanding and comprehension in all areas of your life, and as you hit the rest of this month. We're in March, right? Yeah. The rest of this month, there's a sense here of rediscovering ancient wisdoms that you've carried through time, and it does feel as though, a lot of it will be, it's all philosophical, to be honest with you, but it does open you into new ways of approaching your reality and dealing with things in your reality with a lighter heart, and it feels as though that the element of lightness and laughter comes in here tremendously. There's a sense here as you move into April of heart chakra opening up even more. It feels as though the element of communication is here, tremendous communication, and it does feel as though you are letting those people around you understand to a greater degree your emotions, your feelings, your insights, and your wisdoms. And you do it cautiously. You just don't stand on the street corner on a soapbox, but it feels as though you're letting people know how great the depth is to you, so that they can share with you even more. And as you move into the May time frame, there's a sense here of new compassion, new understanding, and a sense of opening yourself up to a greater linking into cosmic energy than ever before. I would say that the cosmic is here as well as the spiritual, and that's not always the case with everyone, but you do have that otherworldliness aspect to your energetic field, so that not that there are aliens controlling you, but you have a greater sense of understanding as to your place within the great scheme of things. And there is a sense here of looking for, I feel, looking for home of past lifetimes, so that and if you are interested in looking for areas in the planet that you have had many lifetimes in, that you had profound lifetimes whose experiences impact this lifetime, get a world map, spread it out, and take your pendulum and take it over the map slowly, and it will swing when you have hit an area where there's great influence upon this lifetime. It'll give you a better understanding of which ancient civilizations to look into, for sure. As you hit June, there is a sense here of spiritual energy around you, and I do feel that there are those that have passed over that have been trying like heck to let you know that they're around, and I'm not sure you've been paying attention. There are pennies, there are feathers, there are all sorts of things letting you know that there are loved ones around more frequently than you think. And there's a woman here in spirit that keeps saying she smells my fragrance. So it feels like there's a woman who has passed who had a pleasurable, recognizable fragrance, because after working with Jen Young, who smells things, this was a pleasurable smell, and it feels kind of flowery, and it feels as though she says she keeps smelling it and remembering me, but doesn't realize that I'm around. So I would be more attuned to the fact that when you have these times when there is a fragrance in the air that you can't pin down where it comes from, please know that there is a spirit around you that loves you very much. Feels as though it's on your mother's side. As you hit the July time frame, there's a sense here of a balancing of karmic debt. And I feel that you have from time to time been through difficulties and not been able to understand why things happen to you, and basically a lot of it has to do with balancing that karmic scale. I don't feel there are bad things coming at all, but I do feel that especially in the month of July, things may not go as smoothly as you would like, and there's a sense here of cosmic debt being repaid to a certain degree. So don't get angry and don't get mad. Just understand that the scale is balancing, and it's a short-term thing. It feels like it's the month of July, and then you're golden. As you hit August, there's a sense of having people acknowledging you for the good things that you've done, and reminding you of the fact that you have been a very generous, kind, understanding, compassionate person to so many people. And this is a time where there's a wonderful glow around you, as though you really feel the energy and the kindness coming back at you. It's a time in which if you just are quiet in a room someplace and you have the time to just really breathe deeply, you're going to feel that warm glow, and you will radiate that glow for the rest of the day. I'm not somebody that tells people they should meditate every day, but when you come into the August time frame, meditating outside for a while every day would be of tremendous benefit to you. And if you don't do it, you just don't experience this wonderful warm glow. And it won't be the fact that the sun is on you, it'll be the fact that you are opening yourself up to the love and compassion of the universe that is coming back at you for the gifts that you've given out. There is a sense here of laughing at yourself as you get into September, and it feels as though you've been trying to illustrate and give people advice and things like that, and they haven't been listening. And yet if you explain to them how you've fallen on your face and how you have had experiences where things didn't work out as well as you would like them to, and, get them laughing over your experience, you teach the lesson. It's much easier to teach through laughter than it is through being serious and profound. People tend to go to sleep when you're serious and profound, yet when you're telling them about the mistakes that you've made, they listen, they laugh, and they learn. I think it's an important lesson for you, because it does feel as though you do try to teach often, and I must say that the advice you give is amazingly good advice. It's just that it doesn't take seed as fast and as easily as when it's shared with laughter. It does, but it takes a lot longer. There is a threshold experience as you get into the October time frame. Often we talk about mountaintop experiences, and it feels as though October is going to have one in it for you. One of those moments when, the choirs sing and you go, aha, and I see the light, so to speak. Of course, it doesn't last very long, but it lasts long enough for you to identify it and say, whoa, that was profound. And it's all good stuff. It does feel as though you're opening up more and more and more to the flow of energy around you as opposed to trying to control it. I mean, controlling it is senseless. We aren't able to do it. But trying to is, I have to admit that it's, admirable that you try, but going with the flow is so much easier. And it does feel here as though your energy flows far better as you reach the end of October and into November. November is a time where you're focusing on home, you're taking care of things, you're putting things in order. I feel that in many cases you are reprioritizing a lot of things in your life, making things simpler and more profound for you and those around you. As you hit the December time frame, there's a sense here of I keep hearing tradition, and it's important for you that there are traditions that are followed, and it's important that you follow the traditions that are important to you. And for some reason, traditions comes up here in December deeply, and it doesn't matter if anyone else follows it. It's important that you follow it. So that if you have no one else that is following a particular tradition that is important to you, it's important to you to follow it. I'm not sure what I'm talking about, but it feels like there's a tradition that happens around the holiday time that you may not be able to gather a group of people together for, but it's important that you carry on with a tradition that makes you feel right and good. As you hit January, there's a sense here of understanding that you definitely have checked all the boxes as far as lessons that you want to achieve this lifetime, and there's a greater understanding that when difficulties appear, that they are meant to be lessons for you, that there's something there for you to learn, and it's not a negative thing, it's a positive thing. And I feel strongly that there's excitement here because it feels as though you're putting a lot of things to bed. A lot of lessons have been learned and tucked away so that you feel that there is greater freedom, and indeed there is. And as you hit February, there's a sense here of plunging into some of the ancient wisdoms that are around and about you of I see you really investigating, learning, and researching aspects that have to do with past spiritual and spirituality aspects throughout time, but also opening yourself up to the new paradigms that are out there, and and understanding that the cosmic and the spiritual are intertwined, and that there is a greatness and a profundity above and beyond the earth plane. And you seem to find a wonderful road to follow, path to follow, and it's one you've followed before, of course, and it takes you into new directions that are very exciting and tranquil for you. Okay?
Okay, that was amazing. Yes, I'm definitely opening up to, like you said, new horizons. So, yeah, right on.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. How cool is that?
Nice to hear from you, Nancy.
You too, Chris.
You take it easy, okay? Don't be a stranger.
Okay.
Okay. She played hooky tonight, Chris.
Yeah, I know, right? But it's good. They're still listening in archives, the ones that can't make it. So that's nice to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, yeah, so. Okay, our next person then is Bonnie, and then it's going to be Mary Margaret. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi. Oh, my gosh, you're so amazing. I don't know. It's amazing just to listen to everybody else's readings.
Oh, well, you did want one, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I think I'll just do the same thing. I mean, if you could just give me an outlook of the year to come.
Happy to.
That would be great.
Okay. It feels as though healing energy is going to be a major part of your year to come. It feels as though it touches into every aspect every month, and it's not that you're sick, because I don't think you're sick, but I do feel you are letting go of emotionalities as slowly as is most appropriate for you that no longer serve you or that you're tired of carrying. So I feel that this is going to be a year of enlightening on many different levels, and when you let go of emotionalities that no longer have impact on you, you open yourself to greater ability to tap into and utilize the light that letting go of these aspects allows into your life. It's a time of creativity. It's a time of communication, and I would say that this month especially is a time where you speak your mind more, where you open your mouth and you speak in places and times where you haven't in the past, and it does feel like you've swallowed words that you should have said and kicked yourself afterwards for not opening your mouth. And I'm not saying do it rashly. I'm saying pay attention and be calculating to a great degree, but speak your mind and don't let other people intimidate you into keeping quiet about things that are very important. It's also a time with creativity that it's really important for you to open up those channels even more than you have. It feels here as though there's a need for greater creative energy in your life, and the reason there's a need for greater creativity is that the more creativity you have, the more channels for the spirit to flow through and manifest within your reality has. And so with every creative project you do or you're involved in that does not earn you money, is another channel that is open for spirit to flow into your life and manifest and enhance your reality and make it more vibrantly alive. Oftentimes when we go through difficult times, we put away the things that are most important and our biggest tools, and one of those is our creativity. I feel that you've kind of shut down your creativity to a degree, and it's really important that you open it up and let it help to expand your horizons and your ability to impact your reality. As you get into the month of April, there's a sense here of taking care of yourself, of making sure that you're doing for yourself the things that are most important for you, whether it's exercise or eating or just drinking more water. But it's time that you spent some time on taking care of me instead of taking care of so many other people. You are so often focused on helping others that you forget that you need to take care of yourself as well. And as you get into the April time frame, there's body, mind, spirit coming together here. This is a time where I feel that you're sort of pulling things back together and becoming more confident and more self-aware of yourself, and it feels as though you are sending out an energetic pattern that is more stable than it ever has been before, and it does draw to you new people that are of a different frequency. Not that the people around you are bad, just that this is a new level of energy of people coming at you that perhaps you're able to talk to better. It's quite often spiritual people find that finding like-minded people is very difficult, and it feels like you've had that difficulty in the past, and that as you come into April, you're going to be drawing to yourself people that talk your talk, which is a really cool thing. As you come into May, crown chakra opens more. It feels as though there's a sense here of you're feeling the connection with the universe that you feel from time to time, but it kind of comes and goes. This is a cool time for you, and you may even find that there are some headaches here, small headaches, not real big ones, but small headaches that may in many ways kind of remind you that there is an energy at work around you and within you. I do want to point out that almost everybody during the next couple of months is going to be feeling energy shifts and changes, and those who are spiritually aware are going to feel them more so than others. This is a time when most spiritual practitioners are being knocked on their tushes, and it's really it's difficult yet challenging to pull it all together again and make things work and flow. And I feel that you're going through a similar type pattern here, because you do have a spiritual focus to your life for sure, and it does feel as though there is an aspect of, maybe questioning, maybe challenging, maybe the biggest thing I see is that you are trying to think your way through being a spiritual entity, and that doesn't work. Spirituality, one of the foundational core words is trust, and that's trusting without knowing, and if you have a feeling of a need to flow in a certain direction, trust it. Don't ask for explanations or say why or analyze over and over again, because that diminishes the quality of the spiritual energy that you're able to finally eke out. As you hit the June time frame, there's a tremendous amount of spirituality here, as though you are really embracing the concepts of the fact that you have a major master spirit inside of you that is trying to communicate and creating that bridge between consciousness and higher consciousness. Always a challenge for everybody. But once it's established, then the energetics flow more easily, and you've been working really, really hard at making that connection, and I do feel that you have a bridge. You don't see it, and so the important thing is to trust that it's there and allow information to come across it. We don't see radio waves, yet we hear the radio. We don't see TV waves, yet we see TV, so that we don't know where it comes from or what that bridge is that sends it to us. And that's the same way with spirit. I feel that you are making that connection, you are building that bridge, and then trusting the insight and the gut feelings that come to you and guiding your life appropriately. Please don't put on a white robe and go to the mountaintop. It means that you are able to lead your life with a better balance, with a better security, with a better focus. And as you get into the July time frame, again, the energy of healing is here. The aspect of letting go of those things that you have no control over. You want to fix everything. You want to help everybody, and that's not why you're here. You're here to grow, to learn, to expand, and to heal yourself. And if in doing that other people learn, that's fabulous. But you sometimes get distracted and take on other people's problems, and when you do that, you take on also the responsibility of their lifetime as well, which is not appropriate. Which means that you have in many ways deprived them of a lesson that was important for the spirit they carry, and so they're going to have to create that lesson, that challenge in another way, in another form, probably more profoundly. So understand that while yes, holding the door open for an older person is very nice, and that's very appropriate, but trying to solve their problems and going home with them is not. And you really want to help so badly that you sometimes go overboard massively. I do see you getting a balance. As you come into the August time frame, there's new foundations here. New foundations you're working from and growing from. New foundations that give you a feeling of security and a feeling of, okay, things are stable now and I can move forward. Please understand that stability is fleeting, that we are constantly in flux, we are constantly growing, and the element of trust and faith is very important to those of us here on the planet at this time and those who are on a spiritual journey, and acknowledge it even more so. As you hit September, there's a sense here of being very busy, overpowered and overwhelmed to a great degree, but having a very good time of it. That's a time where definitely take your vitamins, but take them a couple of months ahead of time so they actually have a chance to be working in your system. Very busy, I'm seeing you having difficulty with sleep patterns. Your brain never stops, and well, that's good, because if your brain stopped, you die. But it feels as though you are so involved in so many different things that it's very hard for you to get that restful sleep that's very important for you. But it's okay because things calm down as you hit October, and there it feels as though there's more stability here. There's a good rhythmic flow of energy here in the October time frame, and what you've sent out returns to you greatly magnified. So a lot of the things that you've done, the kindnesses that you've offered to other people, are coming back at you, and in different forms, in different ways, in different modalities. But it feels like it's harvest time, and it's a time in which you do feel as though the things that you've done not expecting reward give you great reward on many different levels, not necessarily money, but the good stuff, and that's more important. You attract to yourself new people of a new frequency as you hit the November time frame. It feels as though, again, you're sending out a signal of energy that really is attracting to you people who are more like-minded, and it does feel as though this is the place where I feel friendships evolving into things that are greater than friendship. There are teachers that evolve into friends. It isn't. I'm not just saying there's love relationship here. I'm saying there's relationship and connections on deeper levels than you've ever experienced before. And there is a commitment as we get into December, a commitment of new direction, of understanding, of camaraderie, and there is a commitment on many different new levels here that is quite profound. And as you hit the January time frame, two very new people coming into your life that help you to balance things out and make things flow more easily. And it does feel as though there are changes that are subtle for 2018, but will definitely take you in directions that you never thought you'd go in. Okay?
Wow. Okay. God, thank you so much. That it made sense, and it's definitely sounds like a great direction to go. So I just got to keep moving forward, and like you said, trust and focus on self too, and not
creativity.
And creativity. I'm just starting a jewelry business, so I make jewelry, and so I'm hoping.
No, but that won't count because you'll be getting money for it.
Okay, so other channels that don't include. I
mean, drawing, painting, sketching, knitting, weaving, collecting stones, polishing doorknobs. Anything of a creative nature that you are not paid for.
Okay.
Because you can't get spiritual brownie points, and it won't open spiritual channels if you're being paid for it because you're already compensated for it.
I see. That makes sense. Okay, I'll work on that, and that's what I love to do anyway. Do you think there's a possibility of love this coming year? I mean, you talked about new people, and it's so. I moved to Oahu 6 years ago from California, and with my two boys, and so I'm a single mom, and I feel like although I've made some friends here, I do feel like I haven't connected with like-minded people. I don't have that connection with people here like I did back there. Some really good friends, and I'm always wondering.
If you re-listen to and I do think, Chris, you can get in an archive, yes?
Yeah.
If you re-listen to what I said, I tippy-toed around a love relationship, but the potential for a committed relationship is definitely there.
Okay. I was taking notes too, but I'm definitely going to go back to the archives. So it sounds like a very encouraging year. So thank you so much for your time and for sharing your gift.
You're so welcome.
Okay. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Chris.
You betcha. Take care. So one last one. We saved the best for last. Mary Margaret.
Hi.
Hi, Mary
Margaret.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hi, Barbara.
Hi. Did you have a direction you want me to go in?
Whatever direction you think I need.
Oh, we don't have that much time.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm in trouble.
You opened yourself up for that.
I sure did.
I would say that when I look at the cards here, I see an absolute flow of energy that has to do with learning, with wisdom, with growth, with expansion. And it does feel here as though the main calling card for the next year is, start learning, start growing, start expanding yourself beyond where you think you are finished, because we're never finished. And it does feel as though there is an absolute real need for you to push yourself into learning new modalities, new wisdoms, it could be a language, it could be a skill, it could be, just learn something new every month. Whether you're techie or whether it's creative or whether you investigate and learn something more, like tonight we were talking about the Bosnian pyramids. Frankly, I didn't know they existed until 3 weeks ago, but now I am a semi-expert. But there's this sense of, and semi is underlined, but there is a need here for you because it feels like you've stood still for a very long time. And it does feel as though it's time to kind of, brush the cobwebs off and start learning again. Get curious about things. I feel strongly that there is a sense here of you're drawing attention to yourself because of how good you are at what you do. And good is nice, but great would be even better. So feel, find ways to expand yourself and stretch yourself and let yourself grow and become a richer, more vibrant person than you are already. As you hit the month of, this month there are new foundations here, and it does feel as though there is a sense of you're planting your feet and starting in new directions and starting to build upon a firmer platform than ever before. It's like this is a time where all of us kind of are recreating ourselves, whether we want to or not. And it does feel as though it can be very exciting because you're not stuck in any past pattern. You have the ability to go in any different way you want to do, whether you, and I would say hairstyle, way you dress, way you eat, the whole thing. You can recreate yourself and you don't have to stick to it. You can always change back, but it does feel as though it's time to experience some new things in new directions. As you hit April, there's a unity of focus here, and this is, again, a time where taking care of yourself and taking care of the things that make you feel good, and this is massage comes up here and pedicures and all sorts of cool stuff just for you. And you haven't done the just for you to the degree that you need to do it in. And so as you get into the April time frame, this is a time where I don't know when your birthday is, but it doesn't matter because Alice in Wonderland had every day is an unbirthday day. So make it your unbirthday month and make sure you treat yourself. Don't go crazy with credit cards, but treat yourself. Take yourself into walks outside or look at waterfalls or sunsets or whatever, and just breathe in the richness that is around you that you've been ignoring for quite a while. As you hit May, there's a sense here of a lot of activity going on here. Feels like it's going on in your home, and it does look like there is a sense of shifting and changing things around in your home and making things more comfortable for you. I would even say create a sanctuary or a place that is just yours where you can sit and be yourself. And, even if it's a walk-in closet where you can put a chair and it doesn't get stuffy, just some place where you can breathe and listen, because you don't have a place that is your own, that you can just kind of sit in and commune with yourself. As you get to the June time frame, there's a sense here of healing energy, of dealing with some situations from the past that you've sort of been pondering. It feels like in dream state you've been remembering situations from the past that you might have handled differently. I want you to know that no matter how often you might have repeated these situations in your head, the way you dealt with these situations was the most appropriate for you at the time, and therefore you did the right thing. And you sometimes question yourself in some of these situations and wonder if you had acted differently, if you had spoken differently, if life may have been different. And it probably would be, but it wouldn't be what you needed, and you got what you needed. So shake it off and let go of it and move on, because there's so much coming as we move forward, that to look backward and try to figure out if you could have done something different, would life have been different, because it is what it is. As we hit July, there's a sense of committing yourself to new directions. There's a promise to yourself to shift and change a lot of things around you, and it feels as though it's a very exciting time, because you almost are making contracts with yourself to make changes in life here. And some of them are subtle and some of them are large. And, it feels as though it's a time where you sort of draw a line in the sand and say, okay, things change from here on in, and they do. And as you hit August, you've got the sense here of what you've sent out returns to you greatly magnified. And it's also the other thing that comes up here in the August time frame is that old saying of what goes around comes around is going to be played out before your eyes in many different ways. Not necessarily in your life it doesn't affect you, but you see in other people the what goes around comes around being played out, and as a result it shifts and changes a lot of things in a lot of the ways that you treat other people, and that as you move forward in time you realize that whatever action you put out there is going to come back at you, and you are more and more cognizant of the fact that kind words are come back to you, that kindness is given, by paying ahead, come back to you, that random acts of kindness come back to you in strange and wonderful ways. And so it changes and shifts your life dramatically. And as you hit the September time frame, there is this sense here of communicating better with others, of opening yourself up for better communication with a lot of people that you have sort of veered back from or shied away from. Not that they're bad people, it's just that you weren't quite sure how to handle things. And it does feel as though you have a greater understanding of communication, and you're able to sort of smooth ruffled feathers and mend fences, so to speak, here. You don't have to say you were wrong. It feels as though you have a talent for communicating with other people during this month especially that you haven't drawn upon in the past. Laughter, light, and celebration are here in the October time frame. It's almost as though this is a reunion or this is a big celebration. So it feels like it's like a reunion or a huge birthday party or a wedding or something, but there is a sense of joy and celebration here in the month of October that is most profound. And I feel you really having a lightness about you and a sense of great laughter and joy flowing throughout your being. As you hit November, there's a sense here of experiencing an initiation into higher realms of spirituality, and December has the universal spirituality in it. It feels as though you are opening yourself up to a greater understanding of what spiritually is within you and how you impact your reality with how you practice and follow and flow with it. December has a time frame in which you do gain a greater, more profound understanding of the spiritual and how it does go beyond a religious concept into a more spiritual cosmic flavor and all of the paradigms that are connected therein. And as you hit the January time frame, there's a sense here of attracting to yourself new people, new directions. This feels as though there's a sense here of learning, of growing, of stretching, and finding other people who are have similar focus within their lives, and not that all of you will be at the same place at the same time, but there is a sense of sharing and a sense of, in some cases, moving together to flow and discover, and then coming back together and sharing what you learned, and it really is it's a cool group of people. As you hit February of next year, there's a sense here of a sense of becoming, in some ways, a leader in a group that does not have a leader. And I can't explain that anymore now because it's a year ahead, and I'm not exactly sure what it means, but that's exactly what I got. You become a leader in a group that has no leader.
Wow. Well, you hit on a lot of things. The dreams, I've been having a lot. And that, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a very interesting year.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
You're so welcome.
I'm going to go back and tape this.
What?
I'm going to go back and tape it.
I'll go back. Good. Okay, so let me find Mary Margaret there. And okay, so Barbara, tell everybody where you're at, where they can find you.
I'm at barbara.delong.com. Real hard to find me.
Yeah.
and my show is Nightlight on freedomslips.com Monday nights at 10 to 12. And I know Chris is on at the same time, but this coming Monday night I have Michelle Avanti on, and she is an amazing astrologer. She is just phenomenal. And we'll be taking calls. So if you're interested in having a profound astrologer read you, give a shout. Otherwise, tune into Chris's show.
Sure, and people can find your archives on your website as well anyway, right, if they happen to miss it live?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, it's been a long time, Barbara. It's been awesome chatting with you, really great information, and now you've given me some more hours to find and make time to go check out this, especially that video, so appreciate that very much. And I guess we'll see you in about a month's time. It'll be a full quarter of the year will be gone the next time we see you.
Wow. Well, hopefully I'll have met and read some interesting guys, and I'll be able to bring a better slideshow next time.
Oh, I'm sure you will have stumbled across all kinds of interesting stuff by then. And that I have no doubt. And so that's great. So I appreciate you very much. BarbaraDelong.com, and we'll see you back in another month. Everybody else, we're back here tomorrow. Remember, we're going to have short shows for the next 5 days or so. And see you back here next time. Heath, if you're out there, hi. Talk to you later. Okay, we're out of here, guys, in 3, 2, 1. Thanks, Barbara.